Chris, thanks for being here.
Thanks for having me.
Tell us about your role at Maxus.
So I'm the AMD of data and activation at Maxus. This is a relatively new role.
So data and activation. Tell us about how that works.
I think that's a fancy term for programmatic, but what we basically do on our team is make sure that our video and display data strategy is on point, as well as ensure that the execution of it is as flawless as possible.
So attribution is one of the industry's biggest challenges, right? Everybody would love to know exactly how X ad dollars equal Y results. How do you guys tackle it for a brand like NBC?
I mean, it's definitely a challenge for us because people are not necessarily only converting digitally. In fact, a majority of conversions are happening, on the air. Mm-hmm. So breaking down that conversion silo is something that we've really been trying to tackle with certain partners, understanding where people are watching, how they're consuming, and then tying that back to the exposure.
When did NBC get serious about programmatic?
They definitely got a lot more serious about it when some of the data that we were getting was becoming more viable to execute on. So once we started getting automated content recognition software to start to tell at like a device ID or an IP address who was watching what and for how long, that was when we started to see the power of programmatic and really wanting to tap into that.
So out here on the West Coast, I imagine entertainment is a big part of what you guys do. How does that differ from a traditional client or a different kind of vertical?
It's a good question. I think the main difference for entertainment is what you're pushing out, what the content you're distributing is content versus, a brand for toothpaste. Not that Crest or Colgate aren't great brands, but it's a little bit harder to cut maybe 30 seconds of compelling toothpaste in a commercial versus the latest and greatest, show or Jurassic World.
Tell us a little bit behind the scenes how you build your teams.
Yeah, I mean, the SQL I don't think was ever something that we were looking at. I've definitely not trained in SQL, but that's like a key component of any analyst now because the raw volume of data that you're getting in and that you're needing to crunch and analyze is just that much more than I think we were anticipating before setting up this team. And you're also looking for someone who has real hands-on keyboard approach because you're actually in there pulling the levers, making the buys, adjusting them, whereas in the past that was often transitioned to other parties.
What kinds of things do your clients lean on you for most? Where do they really need guidance and consulting from your teams?
I mean, I think you touched on it. We're consultants for them, really. We are there to provide what we're seeing in the industry, some of that thought leadership. Our clients are really smart and really savvy. They know how to make the right decision. We just have to help present that information.
Okay, last question for you, and I love to ask this one to end the interviews. What's exciting about next year? What are you looking forward to?
For our team, I'm really excited to continue to develop those relationships. And I think to really start to understand what at a channel level is driving attribution for our clients is going to be something that's really important.
Good stuff. Thank you so much, Chris.
Thank you.
Really appreciate it.